drips from the millions to the marginalized. And just like Maya Angelou said, still we rise. We're from the places where there are no words. We find places to ad-lib. We're from the place that has a mayor in Justin Bibb.
Serving as your mayor is the honor of my lifetime, and I'm grateful for your partnership and support of the work we do here at City Hall.
Mayor Bibb has a vision for engaging not only our audiences to come to City Hall for the things that they need to do, but really to come to City Hall to engage in discourse, to see beautiful works of art on the wall, and to think about the ways in which the city engaged with arts and culture. The Transformative Arts Fund is a piece of legislation that was co-collaborated and created by Mayor Bibb with City Council to provide artists in the City of Cleveland and institutional partners the opportunity to apply for grants to produce brand new works of art within the 17 wards of the City of Cleveland. This is incredibly important because we want our artists working in our communities. We want to highlight their brilliance and their creative genius.
At the heart of our guiding principles lies a dedication to serving Clevelanders and placing them at the center of all we do.
Cleveland is in a transitional state, and it's something that is exciting. If you think about it, we have a new mayor who is pushing a lot of strong initiatives and programs and wanting the city to grow and flourish. We have a new CEO who, again, is pushing a lot of new initiatives for the district and wanting us to grow. So we're almost in a renaissance moment. We have a group of first graders right now where we are partnering with Habitat for Humanity because they wanted to find a way to give back to the community. This was not teacher driven, this was from our kids, and again, in first grade. So they're actually gonna be, Habitat for Humanity is coming to Harper, and our kids are gonna be working with the lumber and putting in the work to provide a future home for different families.
That initiative started through a friend that I gained in the work, and a gentleman named Joe Black, who approached me one day and said he had a program called the Reverse Ride Along. When he was giving me the breakdown, he explained that it was a new initiative where they took cadets who were getting ready to graduate from the academy and had them drive throughout the neighborhoods that they were soon to potentially be policing, giving them opportunity to meet different stakeholders in the community, to meet residents. I wanted to do something impactful from a youth standpoint. So we had a conversation and came up with the idea of having a youth-led training as one of the stops on the Reverse Ride Along tour.
As always, public safety is my top priority, and we are seeing positive results coming out of our Raising Investment in Safety for Everyone initiative, aimed at fighting crime through collaboration and improving police recruitment and retention.
We've pretty much replaced half of our fleet with these brand new trucks, which they look nice, they ride great, and they also have what we call the power load system, which really reduces the stress on the medics.
Coming here every day, it's not easy at first, but you get used to it, you enjoy it, and I pretty much wish to end my career here. So that's what's going to happen with me, and hopefully my coworkers feel the same way.
We are the place that continues to rise. We are the orange and the brown. We are the Cavs and the Guardian town. We are the places that even in the dark, we find light. We invest in policies that paint hope in communities where people grapple to find ways to cope, and the strongest of our families from suburbia, urban, or rural find themselves against the rope. We are the CLE, transformational, the CLE, inspirational, the CLE, motivational, the CLE, educational. It's to lift every voice and sing. It's the reason why Martin says from every mountaintop, let freedom ring. It is the singing single mother who knows she belongs, but still she's asking where. It's our urban planning. It's our murals on cityscapes. It's open recreational centers for youth to escape. It's after-school voices. It's drumline choices. It's church choirs where the broken hearts rejoices. We are the CLE. It's nonpartisan. It's bipartisan. It's all partisan because every one of us is a different type of CLE artisan. From our lakefront to our neighborhoods, the future of Cleveland is bright. From our lakefront to our neighborhoods, the future of Cleveland is bright. Every community, every neighborhood, our streets to highlight. From our lakefront to our neighborhoods, the future of Cleveland is bright.
Thank you. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Cleveland. Thank you so much for joining me here at the beautiful Mimi, Ohio Theater for my third State of the City address. We are currently in the country's largest performing arts center outside of New York City, in Cleveland, folks. We forget that too often. That deserves a round of applause. The work we are doing takes a village. Transforming our city takes many, many people working hand in hand. Now, I won't be able to recognize every one of you today, but you know who you are and what an important role you play. First, to the City of Cleveland team, together we've overcome challenges and come together as one force for change. To the nearly 8,000 of you, you are the front lines. From plowing the snow and picking up the waste bins, to the teams who maintain our parks and our public spaces, to our heroes in EMS, fire, and police. You are the heart of Cleveland, and I couldn't be more grateful for your unwavering commitment. To my esteemed colleagues on City Council, thank you for your collaboration and for serving the residents of Cleveland so faithfully. Together, we pursued an ambitious agenda that puts Clevelanders first, and I am proud to work alongside you. And special thanks to our incredible county, state, and federal partners. We work together every single day to keep this ship steered in the right direction. Because if Cleveland thrives, our region thrives, our state thrives, and the country thrives. And above all, thank you to every resident of Cleveland. It remains the honor of my lifetime to serve you. As a son of this city, I've witnessed too often in others a feeling that we are a city past our prime, a sense that our best days are behind us. But I strongly push back on that thinking every chance I get. It's a big reason why I ran for mayor in the first place. We may forget it, but Cleveland once had more inventors and more millionaires than any city its size. Cleveland dominated entire industries and created new ones too. Our entrepreneurial spirit is alive and well, but we've just lost some of our confidence. But it's time to regain it. Because I'm confident in the Cleveland of today. I'll say it again. The second largest theater district in the country. The first major American city led by a black mayor. The birthplace of rock and roll and a global hub for healthcare, innovation, and so much more. I feel this energy when I'm walking in our neighborhoods. I feel it in our classrooms among our young people. I feel it in the corridors of City Hall. We are taking on our biggest challenges with urgency every day and investing in our city's future for generations to come. This is our moment. I took office with a fresh perspective and energy to build a city hall that works for you. But before you can tackle big things, you need a firm foundation. Just give him a second. 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 Let's clap our hands for freedom of speech in this country. That's why I love America so much. That's right. That's why we love free speech. Now, where was I? So when I got to office, in my first week at City Hall, the roof was literally leaking buckets of rainwater. In the first 6 months of my term, I was in a hurry to get everything done. We needed urgency. Don't get me wrong, we still do. But just as important is leading with purpose and patience. Building trust and relationships takes time. Understanding the complex issues our city faces takes time. We can't win by rushing to the finish line. This is our movement, and we have to move as one. To that end, we just completed a 10-year strategic audit focused on bringing our city operations into the 21st century. We did a deep dive with staff from across the enterprise to develop a roadmap for meaningful change. We're making the easy things easy, like streamlining the payment process for our vendors and contractors, because it should not take months to pay somebody to cut the grass in our city. We're also digitizing the procurement process and adding self-service options for things like birth and death certificate requests to make it easier for residents to work with the city and access the resources they need. And for the first time in decades, we launched a new and improved website that's mobile-friendly and built with residents in mind. And I'm pleased to announce that next week, we are launching the first iteration of our new open data portal to provide the public with increased transparency and easy access to a wide range of city records. Promises made, promises kept. Our city service hotline 311 is now available 24/7, 7 days a week, and we are close to launching a web version that allows our residents to report and track the status of requests just as they would a FedEx package. And for the first time since President Eisenhower, we reevaluated our trash collection route system to provide more consistent service that doesn't have our teammates working into the night. We've We've updated our HR practices to attract and retain the best and brightest of public service, including modernizing our vacation and parental leave policies. But here's one of my favorites. I hope you all have enjoyed the new smart parking system all across downtown Cleveland. You see, you have to get the basics right. And as a son of a cop, nothing is more fundamental to me than public safety. If we can't build a Cleveland where every resident feels safe and trusts law enforcement to answer in their hour of need, we can't achieve much else. Safety comes first. It will always come first. The Warehouse District shooting last summer was devastating. Another act of senseless gun violence. And despite the state tying our hands, we need to exhaust every option to prevent these tragedies in our city. One of the ways my administration has responded is through our RISE initiative, raising investment in safety for everyone. RISE is an all-hands-on-deck approach to both stop crime before it starts and guarantee an effective response when it occurs. In collaboration with local, state, and national law enforcement agencies, we've made hundreds of felony warrant arrests and confiscated scores of illegal guns endangering our streets. For the first time in decades, city administration, police leadership, and both police unions, the Cleveland Police Patrolmen's Association and Fraternal Order of Police, worked together on an agreement to support officer retention and recruitment. The agreement increases wages by up to 14% for all officers, raising overall pay by up to 25% in just 2 years. Just 2 years. We've also established 12-hour shifts for our officers, meaning more time off, less costly overtime payments, and ultimately, safer neighborhoods. This dynamic model spreads out staffing and increases police presence on our streets. In fact, we're not far from optimal patrol numbers in our 5 districts with this change. We've also raised cadet pay, added new reimbursement options for state-trained certified cadets, and increased the maximum age for recruits to help us bring the best talent to Cleveland. Not just to fill our ranks, but to build a force that our city can trust to answer the call. And it's working, Cleveland. Applications to join the police force are up by 45%. And this past Monday, I welcomed a new class of 52 cadets to the police academy. This is larger than the previous 4 classes combined. We've also doubled the number of social workers in our co-response teams across every police district. And in 2023, our crisis intervention team resolved more than 4,800 interactions without an arrest or citation. That's nearly 100% of the calls they were involved with. And we know that not every police call warrants a traditional response, and it's critical we provide the mental health support our residents deserve. And I would be remiss if I did not mention the major investments we've made in EMS. 19 new ambulances hit the street last year, and we're also implementing a lateral transfer program where paramedics with at least 1 year of experience will be paid $27 an hour upon hire. We know that partnerships are key to delivering on our promise to keep Cleveland safe. Last year, we expanded ShotSpotter into all 5 police districts and grew our smart camera sharing program, integrating more than 2,300 cameras at convenience stores, churches, retail shops, office buildings, and residences all across Cleveland. And the latest police data shows that nearly 40 lives have been saved in our city due to faster response times thanks to ShotSpotter. Cleveland Police also work with the ATF and other agencies to tear down multiple gun trafficking enterprises. And just this summer, we'll be launching our new Crime Gun Intelligence Center right here in Cleveland. And the data shows these investments are working. Homicides were down last year for the 2nd year in a row. And since the pandemic, homicides have decreased by 14%. 14%. And our homicide solve rate is currently close to 80%, significantly higher than the 55% national average. This is what modern, intelligent policing for the 21st century looks like. This is how we solve cases and save lives in our city. But when we grieve for the victims of gun violence, we too often neglect the effect it has on the families and friends left behind. Organizations like the Brenda Glass Trauma Center do inspiring work to help survivors of violence piece their lives back together. But this work shouldn't be needed as much as it is in our city. This year marks a somber anniversary. 10 years since Tamir Rice was killed by a Cleveland police officer while playing with a toy gun in a city park. That's right. That's right. A 12-year-old boy doing what 12-year-old boys do. Endangering no one, hurting no one. Let him finish, let him finish, let him finish. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Okay, now where were we again? His mother, Miss Amaria Rice, who is here with us this afternoon, continues to fight for justice. Since Tamir's murder, Ms. Rice has committed her life to Tamir's legacy as a catalyst for change. And we are committed to honoring Tamir's legacy through community oversight and police accountability. Now, I want to be crystal clear that as my administration works to support, recruit, and retain officers, we remain steadfastly committed to police reform and doing the hard work to get out from under the consent decree. We all have the same goal: safer communities. But a safer Cleveland needs comprehensive gun reform and tools to crack down on illegal gun trafficking. And as mayor, I work with anyone in the legislature, regardless of party or politics, who has a passion and sense of urgency to solve our illegal gun problem. It's time for us to put people over politics on this issue once and for all. And I know we can work together. I've seen it with our state and federal partners. I've seen it with the success of both RISE and our work with Republican State Senator Nancy Manning to pass Senate Bill 88, erasing the records of thousands of Clevelanders with minor marijuana possession charges, eliminating barriers to employment, and giving people a second chance that they deserve. To deliver on public safety, we need to foster community and fix systems where they are failing people. As a first step, we've established a $10 million neighborhood safety fund to provide sustained support for evidence-based programs that address the root causes of violence in our community and meet residents where they are. Last year, we allocated the first $1 million in grant making to 29 community programs, and I've been so blown away by the work that these organizations are doing. Hank Davis started the Icons program in 2002 with the mission to make a positive impact on the community as a violence interrupter. Today, Icons focuses on the work of preventing violence by getting ahead of it. Through a mentorship program at Hannah Gibbons Elementary School in Collinwood, Hank works with a group of 4th and 5th grade boys, many of whom have experienced significant trauma, to offer new opportunities and a sense of community. Most of the young men who come through Icons program graduate from high school. Many are now in college or working in the trades. You see, programs like this work. And through the Neighborhood Safety Fund, we can expand them from the ground up under the leadership of people like Hank. We need to recognize the stress our young people live under. After last year's roundtable with the U.S. Surgeon General, County Executive Ronayne and I launched the Youth Mental Health Workforce Development Sprint Task Force, which will roll out its recommendations on April 11th. We're also convening a student council of young leaders to hear directly about the challenges they are facing. But it's not just mental health, it's physical too. For the past year, I've been advocating for a ban on the sale of flavored tobacco products in our city. And as we all know, the tobacco industry has a long track record of marketing to communities of color, getting us addicted at a young age, so we'll provide a steady stream of profits, regardless of the cost to our health. Cleveland has one of the highest smoking rates in the country at 35%. 35%. 3 times the national average. Illnesses caused by cigarettes are the #1 killer in Cleveland. Not guns, but cigarettes. And I remember watching my pops come home every night with a fresh pack of Newports. My dad died at a very young age. My grandfather died of lung cancer. I know the impact tobacco can have on a family firsthand. And despite the fact that the Republican Ohio legislature just overrode Governor DeWine's veto to preempt local control of tobacco, we are not giving up in Cleveland. Nationwide, Ohio has the second highest number of cities declaring racism a public health crisis. If we believe this, we need to demand a statewide tobacco control policy once and for all. Next to health, the most important thing we can do is provide them with the best-in-class education system. Last year, while visiting the Seeds of Literacy program, I met Melissa, who, at 9 years old, told her teacher she wanted to be a Pulitzer Prize-winning writer. And instead of encouraging this path, her teacher said this: "You people should cook or clean houses." Let me say it again. You people should cook or clean houses. Think about that for a second. Discouraged, she dropped out of school. But years later, after raising a family, she went back to school in her 50s. And today, Melissa is a published author. You see, we need a system that respects and uplifts the hopes and dreams of every student. Students like Melissa deserve inspiration, encouragement, and attention. And I believe we can achieve this goal under the leadership of Dr. Warren Morgan. He brings the fresh perspectives and diverse experiences we need to deliver the high-quality education every Cleveland student deserves. And as you know, we have hard but necessary choices to make to ensure our children's success. CMSD deserves our full support and partnership to keep it on the right track. We must all invest in the future success of our schools. But we can't continue to operate with an outdated building footprint. Realigning our vision for our schools won't be easy. But know this, students will be at the center of every policy. Our schools were built in an era when Cleveland's population was triple the size. We are overdue to adjust for the here and now. And instead of allocating funds to keep up aging buildings, let's fund after-school programs and tools for teachers. At Rhodes High School, the cheerleading squad told me they had to raise their own money for uniforms. Countless principals have told me they can't afford the latest version of textbooks for their students. That's not right. Our kids deserve excellent resources across our schools, from Collinwood to West Park and everywhere in between. School leaders should not have to choose between cutting programs and keeping the heat on. And I'm confident in our kids and what our schools can achieve when they have the resources they need. Again, it's the basics: keeping kids safe and healthy and making sure they have mental health support, the tools they need in classroom, and internet access to do their homework. Change happens block by block, street by street. Over the summer, I walked through each police district on public safety walks with my cabinet, knocking on hundreds of doors and talking to residents about their concerns. And do you know what I heard the most? Not concerns about police presence or crime, but a continuous refrain of that house, that house, that house over there. Residents are concerned about the abandoned, neglected houses in their neighborhoods, many of which become hubs for illegal activity. You see, safety and the built environment are intertwined. And as we walk the neighborhoods, we address residents' concerns in real time. Identifying a code enforcement issue or public safety issue at that house can turn around an entire block and in time transform an entire neighborhood. One such story came to us from Mrs. Richardson on Torbenson Avenue. The lot next to her was plagued by illegal dumping of trees and construction debris. Our building and housing team investigated and found that the materials had been dumped by an out-of-state contractor that was fired and skipped town, leaving behind a whole hot mess for Mrs. Richardson and her neighbors. Our inspector not only helped secure a new contractor, but also found one that worked with neighbors to make sure things got cleaned up and stayed that way. This is how we create the conditions to restore hope in our communities. Last year, we began a cleanup project on Kinsman Road. Efforts as simple as picking up trash and planting trees inspired a whole group of neighbors to continue to keep up the street. Hope has the power to create change. And it's a great example of why I'm so confident in Cleveland. Progress is sometimes as simple as picking up trash. And projects like this are popping up across our neighborhoods. Last year, we launched a citywide parks and recreation master planning process, the first in our city's history. Collecting resident input, we found that half of Clevelanders don't frequent our parks or rec centers due to quality and safety concerns. This startling finding inspired us to act with urgency to address neglected playgrounds, pools, and parks, the foundation of growing up in a neighborhood. We allocated $30 million in American Rescue Plan funding for capital improvements to roadways, playgrounds, parks, and traffic calming efforts all across the entire city. Again, we dialed in on the basics to work smarter, updating our snow and ice control service with route optimization technology, and adding an additional paving crew to perform in-house road resurfacing. Already this year, the Division of Streets has recycled over 600 tons of asphalt for road and pothole repairs. Thank you, Frank Williams. And that's before the plants are even open for the regular season. Our public works teams are knocking it out of the park. They picked up over 6,700 tons of illegal dumping debris off the streets last year. And for that great work, I awarded the Illegal Dumping Task Force with the inaugural Mayor's Innovation Award. Some of them are here this afternoon. Let's show them some love. Let's give a round of applause if we can. Our $50 million site readiness for Good Jobs Fund will clean up thousands of acres of vacant lots and brownfields into shovel-ready sites with the potential to create 60,000 jobs in our neighborhoods. This is how we get Cleveland working again and working for everyone. We've also implemented a new municipal income tax credit program, which reduces the amount of income tax a business pays to the city as an incentive to create and retain good jobs. And these credits are already delivering results. City Council recently approved both property and income tax credits to bring International Food Solutions along with 225 new jobs to the central neighborhood. In addition to job creation, the company has committed to robust community benefits